Let's get into our conversation as we take a look at the oil prices and, of course, the meetings that have been going on between the oil marketers. We saw that yesterday President Tinubu met with oil marketers and he also met with Governors Forum discussing the issue of salary increase, palliative to cushion the effect of subsidy on Nigerians. And if you look at in the week prior, of course, before this meeting, we saw that queues returned to filling stations across the country following the recent increase in the petrol pump price occasioned by the discontinuance of petrol subsidy. So, I mean, we saw retail outlets sold the product between 600, 800 in some places. But, of course, NNPC says that they will cut importation of fuel between now and August when the Dangote refinery, comes on stream. So let's get started now with the new approach of meetings that have been ongoing between the president and or some other stakeholders in this regard. So what is likely to change? What are we likely to see in the coming days? And so that's what we'll be looking at now. We have a guest macroeconomic analyst, DAPPMAN, joins us virtually now. Thank you for your time. Good morning, and it's great to see you again.
Good morning, Frank. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So now let's have your take on the subsidy removal. We saw that quite a lot of reactions and changes and adaptation. People have to adapt to a new lifestyle, spending pattern, and all of that. So for you, give us your own analysis of this current development, reactions from the market, reactions from investors, the responses we are getting so far from the international communities over this. So talk to us about this.
Good morning again. This development is a very crucial step and it's a very significant one for Nigeria economy and for Nigeria going forward, in the sense that if you first notice, during the election build-up, the three leading candidates actually said that they are going to remove oil subsidy. So I think it's on belief of that the new president we have now, President Bola Tinubu, on his inauguration day, announced the removal of subsidy, saying that subsidy is gone. And before that, we also have prepared ahead that, okay, these three leading candidates that said they are going to remove subsidy, we should be expecting subsidy removal probably immediately or within a period within a period or within the year. And with these developments, if you notice, recently the World Bank has said, okay, for them to continue to support Nigeria in terms of fund provision or any other provision, Nigerian governments need to abide with some certain conditions, which one of them is the removal of oil subsidy. And I believe this has been a very crucial one in terms of Nigeria economy in the international market. And coming back down to the oil companies, we begin to see a kind of positive reaction, and especially when we can narrow it down to the equity market, a kind of positive sentiment of investors in the oil companies based on the exchange. So it has been a very significant one for Nigeria economy and for Nigeria oil market at large.
But there's a big issue here. The big issue here is that we've seen that the production of crude oil in May dropped from 1.2 million barrels per day to 999,000. So talk to us about this implication.
Firstly, we know that Dangote refinery is coming up upstream in terms of production by next month or two. So this, and we know the capacity of the refinery is 650,000 barrels. But for Nigerian production, likely to drop in terms of crude oil production, I would say there's need for the government. There's more for the government to do in terms of security and in terms of production of the crude oil, because this 1.2 million barrels per day part of it will be sold to Dangote refinery, while the rest will be sold back to the international oil market. So for Nigeria to, in order to improve its revenue generation from oil, which is still the major source of revenue generation for the Nigerian government needs to do more in terms of oil production, either by security, which okay, the kind of oil theft before, and other technologies which can be included into the oil production aspect of it. So the government has to do more in terms of oil revenue, but they've done the significant one, which is the oil subsidy. In other words, what they are spending or what they are having as revenue is more of it, or let me say additional of it, is going back to the oil subsidy, which they have done. Okay, we are expecting more revenue to be coming up, but it's narrowing down to 900,000 barrels per day is a very significant impact on Nigeria revenue generation.
And but if you look at it, I mean, OPEC quota is 1.7 million barrels of crude oil per day, right? And one expects that that target, that quota, that production quota should be met. Now, you talked about the fact that we'll be losing revenue, so dropping from 1.7, we're not even meeting that quota at the moment. So, I mean, dropping from 1.2 to 999,000, you also talk about implications. So, I want us to look at, now that we are seeing the prices of oil going up in the international market. If you look at recently, Saudi Arabia, which is one of the biggest oil producer in the world, said it was going to cut out, in short, they cut output by 1 million barrels of crude per day. And that means that prices are going to go up. So how can we take advantage of these rise in the prices of crude oil markets to impact on our revenue generation here? But the big challenge, however, is that currently the production, the quota, how much we are putting out on a daily basis is low. But the question is, how do we even take advantage of the fact that the prices of crude oil has gone up in the international market?
How we can take advantage of it is simple, is to improve our production in terms of what we are producing out and what we are selling into the international market. We already have our target based on the 2023 budget in terms of, okay, we are expect to produce about 1.4 million barrels per day, which is still below the quota 1.7 million barrels per day. What we need to do is to improve our production, which is as simple as that. And in terms of the what we call it, the oil price increasing. We know the oil price is increasing. We have good impact on the government revenue, if not considering the volume actually. But now that the subsidy has been removed on the Nigeria Petroleum, Nigeria Petrol, this is going to have another impact in terms of the oil price, the petrol price in the market, in the local market now will be increased, because what the NFPC has said is that the price will continue to fluctuate in terms of the demand and supply, and also relating to the international crude oil price.